So let's make sure we put the test away, okay? Sketch a triangle. So in this case, I don't need it to be drawn to scale. I just need side R to be sine 80. This would be maybe 80 up here. 20 would be there. And then this would be 65. And 17.5 would be across that angle. So it's just getting you to understand that everything is paired up. That's what I care about the most. So if you have it all correct, you get 2 marks if they're paired up correctly. Okay, so the R needs to be across the 35. If you make a mistake at all, go -1 right away, and then you could still get 1 out of 2 if the rest is done correctly. Then this is the one I wanted you to draw to solve. Okay, so it doesn't matter where you start. 51 is over here. 8.5 inches is across, right? Because side F, angle F. So side U is over here. And I ask you to solve the triangle. So the first thing you must start with is sine law, because remember, once we do cosine law, you're going to have to pick. Okay? And then the only thing you can do right now is, calm down, guys. The only thing you can do is sine of u, right, over 7.1 inches. And so the key is to make sure it's sine of u, not just u. So if you didn't get this right, if you didn't set this up right, like if the sine is not there, I would go -1 on this one, okay? And then you go 7.1 times sine of 51 divided by 8.5. If you have this set up, I'll give you another mark already. So 1 mark for setup, another mark for the work that goes with it. And then we cross multiply and divide, and we get 0.6491. That keeps going. Let's say for this step right here, angle U is sine inverse of this. This is, I'm just going to finish this and I'll explain something. So you do the inverse, you get 40.48 degrees. Okay, so for that, I'll give you. Let's go back a little bit with the marks. 1 mark for a correct, complete diagram. Okay, 1 mark for the setup here. Let's get rid of this mark. I'm gonna actually give you whatever follows that setup is what we consider the work. So I'll give you another mark for that. So 2 marks for figuring out the angle. That's normally what we would give you. Okay. The next step would be solving for angle. Now that you have angle U, you can find angle N using the sum of triangle property, right? So 180 minus 51 minus 40.48. And so you get 88.52 degrees. That's also important to us. I'll just give you half a mark for that. Half a mark for figuring out the third angle. And of course, if you made a mistake up here, this will be off, but you still get this mark if I see that you're subtracting the 2 angles that you have. You get a step mark, like for that, doing that step. And then last but not least is actually solving for side N. I will start with the exact same pair I had from the very beginning. And in this case, I'm going to use this angle, right? Angle N is across the side I'm trying to find. So it's sine of 88.52 over side N. In this case, I'll just give you half a mark for setting that up because you should know that this is the same scenario. You cross multiply and divide, so we cross multiply these two. Sine of 88.52 divided by sine of 51, and you get 10.93. inches. You get a mark for the work that follows that. So 1.5, 2, 3, 4, and I'll give you another mark for the diagram, right? 5. So we will change this for today to be out of 5. So this page, if you think about it, it's 2 and 5, right? 2 and 5, so we're out of 7 here in total. So at the bottom of this page or at the top, it doesn't matter, have a mark out of 7 on this paper. And I will go over the bonus because we're gonna actually learn how to do this today. So go to the back side. I would say copy it down if you haven't done it. If you're not sure how to do it, that's fine. So the idea is this. This is the height we're talking about. Height, okay? If this is 90, this is 90 as well because it's 180, right? So what you would do here is we would go sine of 90 over 129. Okay, because that is a pair. You've now cut this into two smaller right triangles. So you go sine of 90, this is a pair here. Sine of 90 over 129. And you're going to use sine of 36. This one is across the height. Okay, so sine of 36 is across the height like that. So you basically cross multiply here and divide by sine of 90. While I'm doing this, type in sine of 90. What is that? What do you get if you type in sine of 90 degrees? It's 1. So it's basically you're dividing by 1. So whenever you see sine of 90, you can kind of say, well, why would I bother dividing by 1? It is 1. So it's basically 129, this slant, times sine of this angle here that's right next to it. That's basically how we will find the height really quickly down the road, okay? So this is going to be 75.82, we're in meters. So that's the answer that I would expect there. So 1 mark for that. I think I'm going to make the area also just 1. So your bonus will be a maximum of 2 marks. So you get a maximum of 2 bonus marks there. So do you remember the area of a triangle? It's base times height divided by 2. In this case, the base is 235. The height is 75.82. And you divide that by 2. You get 8,908.85 squared meters. Okay. That's your answer there. So if you got this, if you got both of them, go plus 2 on your final mark, right? Plus 2. So this is out of 7 though, right? So if you want to now at the top of your page, just go out of 7 and put a mark out of 7 on there.